When did you hang up on someone begging for your help? I was 27 when my toddler drowned in my pool. The morning started normally. Baxter played by the pool steps while I folded laundry on the patio. Then out of nowhere, I tasted metal on my tongue and everything went black. I woke up from my seizure 3 minutes later to see Baxter floating face down. The paramedics worked on him for 40 minutes, but it was too late. He was gone. My mother-in-law didn't even bother whispering, "How could you stay married to the woman who killed your son?" I was thinking the same thing, but that night David held me. "It wasn't your fault, my love." He stroked my hair while I sobbed. "We'll heal together. You couldn't control what happened." He planned everything, the funeral, the flowers. He made sure I ate and showered and defended me to his family. He held my hand at grief counseling and told everyone how much I loved our son. When I woke up screaming Baxter's name, he'd rock me like a child until the shaking stopped. He took 3 weeks off work just to make sure I was never alone with my thoughts. He made me breakfast in bed and covered the living room in rose petals. On the days I felt like I was drowning, he'd dress up in the silliest outfits we had just to make me laugh. On the days I wanted space, he'd leave the room, but not before giving me a red button that when pressed, pinged a notification on his phone telling him to come in because I need a hug. He helped me more than I thought possible. But 2 weeks later, the cracks started to show. I was in the kitchen getting ready to leave for my work party when my husband asked if I could hoover our bedroom. "Honey, I have the work thing tonight," he scoffed. "Must be nice to celebrate while our son is in the ground." I tried to brush it off, but when I got home, I saw he'd moved Baxter's photos to face my side of the bed. I didn't even have the strength to turn them back around. Soon he was muttering things under his breath when he thought I couldn't hear, then louder. In just a few days, it had gotten to the point that he'd scream, "Baby killer," at me. Most of the time, it was for things as small as not drying the dishes enough, and whenever I confronted him, it was always the same excuse. "I never said that. You're imagining things." I woke up one morning to him screaming and clutching our son's backpack. The woman I married would have died before letting our baby drown. I started sleeping on the couch, getting up at 5 a.m. just to avoid him, and it was working. Until one morning, when I heard the toilet flush 5 times in a row. That's when I saw it. Him emptying my epilepsy pill bottles, like it was nothing. "These didn't save him. They're clearly a waste of space," he mumbled without even looking at me. I just stood there, too exhausted to fight him, but I kept going to grief counseling, kept hoping he'd remember who we used to be. Then during our session that Tuesday, he looked the therapist dead in the eye and said, "I should have been home, but she insisted she could handle it." A complete lie. That's when I knew we could never be the same again. I left while he was at work, just grabbed my clothes and laptop. My sister Emma took me in without hesitation. She found me a therapist who specialized in trauma. It took months to stop believing I was a killer. My sister encouraged me to start volunteering with an organization that helped epileptic parents fight custody battles. The stories broke my heart. I helped a mom named Jessica prove she was stable enough for unsupervised visits. Her ex had used her epilepsy against her. Sounded familiar. Another dad got his twins back from foster care after I testified about seizure management. Within 2 years, I was running support groups. I'd helped dozens of families stay together. Even met a gentleman named Tom at a medical rights conference. His wife died during a seizure. He understood. We took things slow, but he never made me feel dangerous. 2 years of healing, of learning to trust again. We'd just finished dinner and were watching some stupid reality show when my phone started to ring. It was David crying his eyes out. His 4-year-old nephew Marcus had drowned at a family barbecue. David had been watching him at the pool but went inside for another beer. "It was just 5 minutes," he kept repeating. His brother was pressing charges. Negligent homicide. David wanted me to testify that these things happen, that parents can't watch every single second. The irony was suffocating. 20 minutes of crying and pleading. "Please, you know what this is like. Tell them it was an accident." I took a deep breath. He was right. I did know what it was like. "I'm sorry for your family's loss," I said. Beep. I hung up. Good riddance. Or so I thought. Because the next morning, I woke up to 39 voicemails and over 99 unread messages, all from David. The first one was apologetic. The second was angry. By the third, he was practically begging me to come over. Full story on channel, link below.